BXB. It's in the game!
Simulation games are hugely popular. Everything from planes, to trucks, to trains, you name it. Someone in Europe, probably, has made a simulation game based around it. And here, I'm looking at Pure Farming 2018, which, you'll be surprised to know, is a simulation game based around farming. And Pure Farming offers a bunch of different modes, like a My First Farm, different scenarios, or just being let loose in various locations all around the world to do a bunch of farming. Look, I'm not some kind of farming nut. Reading the marketing material for Pure Farming 2008, I am promised 100% licensed machines, so you're talking about the real tech, the real tractors and combine harvesters and trucks and sprayers and seed machines that you would find on a real modern farm. I'm told that you can do farming in Italy, Colombia, Japan, Montana, USA, lots of different diverse locations, which means different types of produce, probably different types of tech, different types of things to farm and livestock and things like that. And the game also looks pretty nice, but we'll talk about that shortly. The main mode I've played in Pure Farming 2018, I gave all the modes a go, but the main mode I played was the My First Farm sort of story mode, which starts with a somewhat overwrought, kind of weird, sort of preachy narration that tells you about why farming's good and modern life in an office is bad, or something like that. I thought it was a little bit strange tonally, but then I got into the farming and new tutorials and things like that showed me how to get into the different various forms of equipment and drive around and how to tend the field and all those sorts of things. And I thought it was structured quite well, and it took you through the various processes that you need to understand to run the farm, to manage your finances, because you're inheriting this farm from your grandfather and there's loads of debt involved, you know, all those fun things that you love to think about in a modern society. But don't worry, you don't have to look at that, you don't have to worry about debt. If you want to play like the free farming modes, you can just, I think you can just give yourself loads of money and just do whatever you want. However, it doesn't really fix the core problem I have with the farming, all the farming in Pure Farming 2018. And it's not a surprise that in a game called Pure Farming, all the farming that you do on every field is basically time consuming, as the real task of farming would be. That's perfectly reasonable. However, let me describe to you a sequence of events that lasted me around 2 hours. I farmed the fields by harvesting the wheat, and then I had to put it into a trailer that was attached to my tractor, which I then had to take to sell. I then had to come back, farm more wheat, because I couldn't fit it all into the tractor trailer all at once, then put all that into the trailer again, and then take that to sell, and then I had to go to a shop to buy some new equipment, and then I had to take all the equipment back to my farm one piece at a time, because you know you can only hook one thing to the back of the tractor at once, and all of that took me about 2 hours. This is not an exciting gameplay loop. This is a game if you are A, interested in the realities of farming, and B, interested in a pretty laid back, relaxed, and could be incredibly stress-free sort of system of mechanics that just encourages this very chill form of gameplay. However, you know, I found things like Stardew Valley and Harvest Moon, which obviously have a lot of farming elements into it, but are also RPGs, far more compelling for my sensibilities as a gamer. You know, they're fun, they're cute, they're quirky, there's relationship stuff in there. This is very much a simulator of the realities of farming, like I've mentioned, the finances of farming, and you know the elements of purely farming in 2018. And those elements don't thrill me. However, I know there's a massive market for this. I know there's a huge demand for accurate simulators of various menial tasks already, especially in Europe. It's huge in mainland Europe, this stuff. Massive. All those Euro truck simulators and the really, really in-depth, nerdy flight sims, they're massively, massively popular. And I'm not trying to be negative about this. I think what is given here, what is presented here, is a very good example of a farming simulator. It looks pretty nice, though there are some strangely glaring graphical omissions. Things like when I reached the edge of a location that I was farming in, it just gave me a massive, really ugly white border. No sort of tact was put into like delineating the end of the world, to the point where I was quite confused when I first saw it. I was like, what is this? What am I looking at? It's not a mountain range or a river you can't ford. It's just a white border. It was like something out of The Mist or something. It was very peculiar, and I thought that could have been improved. Yeah, there's some jank here. It's definitely not like 100% polished to the best of abilities, but you know, when it comes to driving your tractors and your combine harvesters, when it comes to plowing the fields and harvesting crops, it felt legitimate enough to me. So I'm going to give Pure Farming 2018 what I can only give it, really, because it's not a bad game. It's just not a game for me. And if I was a fan of these games, I'd probably rate it higher. But I'm not. So I'm going to be really safe and go right down the middle. 3 out of 5 stars.
BXB. It's in the game.